ladies and gentlemen, to Anonymous Contributors Month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a comedy from 2007. That movie is Who's Your Caddy? Now, some of you might happen to remember, a while back, I covered a movie called Soul Plane, and the best way I could sum it up was, it was Airplane if it wasn't nearly as funny and with a mostly black cast. And when I look at this, I'm kind of getting the same feeling, only if you replaced Airplane with Caddyshack. And for the record, I love Caddyshack a lot more than I enjoyed Airplane. So this one's probably going to sting even more if it fails to be funny. However, I have no idea if this thing is going to be any fucking good or not. I barely have memories of seeing ads for it back in 2007 when the damn thing was in theaters. So this thing could very easily shock the living shit out of me and actually be good. But the only way to find out is if I push play, and I'm kind of dreading it for some reason. But really, I'm just kind of stalling. I'm just going to dive right into this. Let's just see if this damn thing is any good. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Who's Your Caddy? Wow. We have to deal with Lil Wayne's bullshit, apparently, for 90 minutes. You hear this god-awful music? Lil Wayne can kiss the fattest part of my fucking ass, and the makers of this movie can join him for adding him and his shitty music to this movie. This is going to suck, guys. Alright, I am gonna ask this. What kind of half-retarded douchebag would need to put nitrous on their golf cart? Golf carts were never built for speed, and frankly, adding in this pathetic attempt at a joke just sort of shows me that this movie's working with literally nothing, and I have a sad feeling it's gonna go downhill from here. Alright, when the hell is any of this going to get funny? I totally understand that that entire scene, thank fuck it's done, was supposed to be, funny, but no. There wasn't a single funny thing in there. It even had Terry Crews in it, and he couldn't save the scene. And I thought that Terry Crews could save damn near anything. Guess I was fucking wrong. Okay. There actually was something at least a little bit funny about hearing Jeffrey Jones say the fucking N-word. That actually was kind of funny just out of pure shock, value. That there was okay. It's kind of a pity nothing else in this fucking movie has been any good at all. But hey, at least it made me kind of smile a little, and that's better than most fucking shit I covered, so there is that. Wow. You guys hear this? This here's only the second decent song in this entire fucking movie. Oh damn, and now they had to stop playing it. Oh, and now we get to see the horse trip out on weed, and what do you know, it's not funny in the slightest. Somehow I'm less than surprised. Oh my god. We have a scene with Terry Crews and Tony Cox, which by all rights should be the greatest fucking thing ever committed to film. And it's not funny. It fucking sucks. How the fuck is that even possible? Oh my god, that was shit. No, shut it. I'm sick and tired of listening to your fucking soundtrack. Fuck you. Alright, guys, that was Who's Your Caddy? And before I get into the review itself, I want to make a point abundantly clear right now. If I were black, this fucker would offend me far more than it fucking offends me right now. I never thought I would hold in my hands something this dangerously close to being a fucking minstrel show which is funny, because I have on DVD Spike Lee's film Bamboozled, which is all about minstrel shows, except it's making light of the whole thing. This thing, guys, is almost the genuine fucking article, and it's, good God, I feel filthy just touching it. Oh my God, okay. So yeah, you can already tell this one's off to a fucking rip-roaring start, huh? Let's start with the writing, shall we? This movie is trying to be Caddyshack, and it fails miserably. This thing even hits a lot of the same, like beats and jokes as Caddyshack, and even a couple from Caddyshack 2, but they aren't as good as what was in Caddyshack and Caddyshack 2. And before anybody questions, yes, I enjoy Caddyshack 2, and if somebody were to put a gun to my head and say you either have to watch Caddyshack 2 or watch Who's Your Caddy, oh, I'd pick Caddyshack 2 in half a fucking heartbeat. In fact, I'm probably gonna have to watch that as soon as I'm done filming this, just to sort of cleanse my palate and feel less dirty. Anyway, so we have these jokes. None of them work. The only time in this supposed comedy that I even smiled is when Jeffrey Jones said the N-word. And it wasn't because it was a white guy saying it, it was because of how Jeffrey Jones delivered the line. And really, that is what sort of made it funny. And the very fact that the very fact that the line immediately before it was another white guy saying it, except it was talentless waste of life Andy Milonakis saying it, should show that that Jeffrey Jones tried his absolute hardest to try to make something work here. He got one line that at least made me smile, but I'm going to cover that more when I get into acting. This also hits a whole lot of the traditional cliches of golf films, such as the big golf playoff at the very end, which is tied after 18 holes, which means that spending the last 5 minutes watching idiots play golf is completely wasted because you already knew at the very start it was going to be a fucking tie, so why the fuck are you wasting time showing us? See, I really wish people who write golf movies would change that up a little bit. I would love it to death if maybe they put a little bit more attention into the actual golf match instead of showing like 5 minutes of people swinging and then go, well, after 18 holes, it's all tied up. We need a 1-hole playoff to settle it all. Fuck that, you lazy, worthless writers, okay? So there's nothing here which is clever or which is original. Acting. I want to run down the small number of good actors this movie had and completely fucking squandered, okay? We had Terry Crews, we had Tony Cox, we had Garrett Morris in a fucking cameo, we had Jeffrey Jones as the villain. That kind of cast all by itself should automatically make any movie amazing. But no. Because none of them are able to salvage anything from the god-awful, horrific writing in this thing. Terry Crews is wasted. Tony Cox is wasted. Garrett Morris, for the, minute he is on screen, is completely wasted. The only person I could say actually had anything going for him is Jeffrey Jones, but that's because Jeffrey Jones was playing the villain, and he does that so well. Jeffrey Jones plays fucking douchebags with absolute gusto. And even he came out a little bit weak here. It was not one of his better showings. If you really want to see a good film where Jeffrey Jones gets to play the villain, go watch Stay Tuned. That right there's a movie where he gets to shine. Here though, it just doesn't work. It is just an absolute waste. And then the rest of the cast is people like Big Boy, who's from fucking Outcast, and Andy fucking Milonakis, who still, I think, is an absolute waste of fucking life, and I don't know why the hell people cast him in anything. Let's see, who else was in this? Sherry Shepherd. I don't give a shit about Sherry Shepherd. Wow. I don't know anyone else who was in this movie. Oh yeah, they also had in there a golf pro at the very end, but instead of getting like a golf pro that people might have heard of, they got some guy who is such a fucking unknown. They had to stop the movie and put his name on screen and tell you that he is a pro golfer. That is how desperate they were for golf pros. I mean, they couldn't even have gotten like a young fucking like Bubba fucking Watson or something. No. They had to get this jackass. What the fuck was his name? I actually have it pulled up here. Jesper Parnevik. I don't know who in the fuck he is, but apparently he is a pro golfer. At least that is what the caption on screen said. And even he can't act, but then again, he's a fucking golfer. I'm not going to expect him to act. But even when he's hitting the golf ball, he really doesn't look like a very good fucking golfer. His fucking, form seems a little off, which is probably why no one's ever heard of him, because he sucks at golf, I'm going to assume. Anyway, so we have writing, which sucks. We have acting, which is terrible. I want to touch on the soundtrack. There are exactly 2 songs in this entire fucking movie that I thought were any good. 2. One of them, I actually came right out and said it. The song is called "Ain't Nothing Wrong with That," and it's from Robert Randolph and the Family Band. It's a really good, like, rock, like funk song. It is fantastic. So that one there is great. The other one is, and I'm not even kidding when I say this song, I would normally say it's great, except it loses points because it's the radio edit, and I have no love for any radio edit of any song ever. The song is "Motherfucker," and it is by Exhibit. That song is normally great, but that fucking radio edit sounded horrible. Which I guess is why, if you are going to have a movie which has a mostly rap soundtrack, don't shoot for a PG-13 rating, otherwise you're going to have to skewer and butcher every single fucking song before you put it in the film. Unless of course it's stuff such as, unless it's fucking like Robert fucking like Randolph, who actually puts out rather clean, music, and well, again, that fucking song is just fantastic. Beyond that, the rest of the soundtrack is absolute trashy bullshit hip hop and gangster rap. Oh wait, there is also one other song, except once more it was a radio edit, and it was from NWA. You should never use a radio edit involving NWA ever. I'm gonna say that one more time. Never ever. Why? Once more, you're skewering and butchering a good song to the point where it's barely recognizable. Anyway, so the soundtrack is just an absolute disaster. Beyond all of that, though, camera work, lighting, cinematography, all of that's fine, but none of that matters, because this was a big budget film, and it was from Dimension Pictures. It would be a fucking crime against cinema if any of that was off. So really, this thing boils down to acting and writing, and that fails on both counts, and it's especially tragic considering some of the powerhouse actors they had in the cast. Dear sweet Jesus, this movie was bad. Oh, and somebody from BET. Oh boy, I now have another reason to loathe and despise BET. They actually have a blurb on the back, and it's from somebody called Leslie Seeger, who works, or maybe worked, I don't know, for BET. And the blurb says, absolutely hysterical. Any human being who thinks that this tripe is absolutely hysterical probably has to put Nerf on every sharp corner in their house. Oh my God. So, when all is said and done, can I recommend Who's Your Caddy? No, I cannot. I cannot recommend it for any reason. If you have any curiosity about whether or not this thing is good, Go watch Caddyshack and Caddyshack 2 and just imagine what would happen if somebody saw that and decided to remake it after taking repeated shots to the head with a fucking claw hammer. Probably the claw end of said claw hammer. Anyway, this movie is horrible. This movie is horse shit. I cannot, oh my god, guys, I cannot think of any other way to really sum it up besides this movie is horse shit. This is horrible. Fuck this movie. Jesus Christ. I am still horrifically offended that I even have this goddamn thing in my fucking possession. Oh my god. Anyway, guys, because this is Anonymous Contributors Month, Who's Your Caddy did come off of the Amazon wish list, but I don't know who sent it in. And to whoever did, thank you, because I was always curious. I was always wondering if this thing was going to be any, good, because again, I really enjoy Caddyshack, so I kind of assumed that a, black pseudo Caddyshack would be kind of fun. But no, this thing sucked. And I just noticed that they've got on the cover here, amongst the cast on top here, they have Lil Wayne listed. Lil Wayne's in exactly one fucking scene. One. He's barely in said scene. Lil Wayne probably has about 45 seconds of screen time, which means that people like Garrett Morris would have even more right to be on the fucking cover because they spent more goddamn time in the movie. Oh my god. So yes, to whoever sent in, who's your caddy, thank you, because I was really curious, and plus I thought it would make for a pretty good reaction and review, but I honestly wouldn't know. You guys actually are going to be the judge of that. Now, I'm going to go watch Caddyshack and Caddyshack 2. I need to go do something to cleanse my palate, make me feel less filthy after watching that horrifically offensive bullshit. So, yeah, I am going to go and do that, and guys, wow. I don't think I've ever been this, offended by a golf movie, ever. Then again, I don't watch a whole lot of golf movies, so... Anyway, I am just fucking rambling now. With that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.